Hi. When last we met, I was having what I believe to be a rather slow week, because I had just finished a term paper, I was just waiting for it to be graded, and I had way more time to study 2 chapters than I had had before to study 5. So I thought it was going to be a fairly simple week. Turns out it wasn't. I've now discovered one of the inherent problems with taking my classes entirely online. It's the first time that I've had something happen where I said, this would not be a problem if I were taking my classes on campus, because I could deal with this way better in person. Um, so I got the grade back on my paper, got a 92 on it, which I would have been happy with, except when looking at it, I realized 4 of the 8 points that I had lost were caused by problems that don't actually appear in the paper that I uploaded. One of the things that the professor had said is that because this is a early class learning how to do research and write papers and such, almost all of the points that are going to be taken off are related to formatting. Well, turns out all of the points that were taken off are related to formatting. But uh, when I look at the paper she graded, when I click the link so I can look at the file that she graded where she put comments, there are problems. Now, some of them are legitimate mistakes that I actually made. 4 points worth of legitimate mistakes that I made. But 4 more points are problems that appear in the version of the paper she uploaded and not in the version of the paper that I uploaded. In fact, there are links side by side where I can see the file she downloaded on the website. So not just not just what it looks like on my computer, but what it looks like if you actually click on it right now. And that version doesn't have those 2 mistakes. It's 2 mistakes, adds up to 4 points. Those mistakes do not appear in that file. But when I click the one she just added comments to, suddenly there are mistakes in it, formatting problems. And so I emailed her and told her what had happened, and she said, I don't know what I can do, I graded the paper that I received. Well, maybe, but she didn't grade the paper that I uploaded. The paper she gave me back is different. So, we went back and forth, and eventually I got 2 of the points back, and I'm just through arguing with her about it. And the thing is, the problems are really small too. Things that there's some sort of formatting issue between maybe her version of Word and my version of Word or something that caused it. I want to show you actually. One of them. Here's the page which had my abstract on it. Here's the one I uploaded, and here's the one that I got back. You see the difference? There's a tiny little tiny space between the one I put up and the one that she graded, and I lost 2 points for that. There's another one farther down. I'm not going to show you that, but the point is, that tiny little bit, I didn't put that mistake there. I didn't do that. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, who cares? You got a 92 on a paper, why complain that you didn't get a 96? And, I was doing the same thing with the test last week, and I know, I admit, it's almost arrogant to be complaining when I got scores in the 90s that I didn't get even higher. I do realize that. So I'm going to tell a little story. Freshman year, when I was going for my undergrad, I had 3 classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And at 8 in the morning, I had a French class. Now, I wasn't living on campus at the time. It took me an hour to get to school. And because the class started at 8 o'clock, later in the semester, I was waking up before sunrise. Like, it was still dark some days when I left the house, or just barely starting to get light when I was leaving the house. And it's very difficult to get into the frame of mind where you want to go into class and study. But I went every day. I hadn't missed a single class. I had 3 classes those days, but it started really early. And then it came to the week of Thanksgiving, and you know, the day before Thanksgiving, I had been told by 2 of my 3 professors that they were canceling class. The only class that wasn't canceled was that 8 a.m. French class, which meant I had to choose between getting up at, before the crack of dawn and go into this class where I knew we weren't going to be actually learning anything new, stay there for an hour and a half, and then take another hour ride back. I'd have spent more time getting to school and getting home than I would have actually spent in class, and I knew we wouldn't have learned anything new. And I hadn't missed a single class yet. Out of all of my classes, I hadn't missed one yet. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to sleep that day. I'm not going in. And I found out we were given 3 bonus points on our final grade if we showed up that day. Most people didn't show up, but those who did got 3 extra bonus points. I got an A minus in that class. Those 3 bonus points, I'd have gotten the A, 4.0 in that class. So, again, who cares? But jump forward all the way to graduation time. And the difference between when I graduated, the difference between me graduating magna cum laude, which I did, and summa cum laude was 0.02 points. And those 0.02 points I'd have had if I had gone into that one class 4 years earlier and gotten those 3 points. That would have been the difference between me getting magna and summa cum laude. Now again, who complains that the honors that they got weren't good enough honors? Okay, so here's a little more practical reason to worry about this. I've said several times that I think while this class is fairly easy, they are going to get more difficult. And quickly. I expect that. I fully expect that. And I don't know how much more difficult they're going to get. Now, the thing is, my tuition right now is being paid by the company that I work for. But they have a rule. If you get an A or a B, they pay 100%. No questions. You don't have to worry about it. If you get a C, they pay 75%. If you get a D, 50%. And then if you don't pass or you don't finish it, then you get nothing. But the thing is, so I don't know if I'm going to end up with any C's in the classes, but right now, this class, the difference between me having an A and an A minus is those 4 points that I lost due to formatting. So let's say, fast forward to a much harder class. And I'm straddling, what if I'm straddling the line between a B minus and a C plus? And I lose and get the C plus because of that formatting problem? That'll cost me hundreds of dollars because of a formatting problem. So, I kind of have to fight now to get used to fighting it and learning about how I can prevent these problems and things now. Because otherwise it might cause problems, it might cost me money and cause real problems in the future. And I really hope that doesn't happen. Because, I want to be able to prove that this online learning experience is just as good as going into going on campus. And I think it will be, but this has been a frustrating week, and one that I knew wouldn't be as frustrating if I weren't doing it online. If I just printed the paper and I handed it to the teacher, I wouldn't have had the same grading issues. So, hopefully it won't be quite so bad in the future. Hopefully I can figure out a way around this problem, but until then, it's going to be on my mind. Anyway, if you have any questions about the process, again, or comments or anything, you can comment below or subscribe, and I will see you next week.